share with you guys. Wait one second. Last night, I had lentils. It was so disgusting. Lentils are so gross. And this whole like gluten free life that I'm on now, I went through everything. I was like, oh no, skinny popcorn. Okay, good, gluten free. Oh my God, like, can I do canola or this is corn oil? No, I can't. Zero trans fat, but the calories. It's like I'm skinny and I have to eat like a skinny person. I have to get like saltine crackers for like if I'm hungry in between things while I'm still trying to figure out how to gluten people eat. Hi Jenny. Thank God these are gluten free. So for lunch I'm gonna have frijoles, the vegetarian version, and these diced tomatoes. I'm looking at this like, okay. So it says smart for your heart, but is it gluten free? Oop. This is August. 21. Is it gluten free? No. Calories 110. So I'm looking at the calories. If calories are over 100, most likely you gonna consume some gluten. You guys know I love to cook. I can't never have Captain Crunch. Is it gluten free? This is so old. Look, sweetened corn and oatmeal. Or oat cereal. I didn't know that. Is it gluten free? Nope. This was me cleaning out the refrigerator. I'm pissed. This is becoming my best friend. Ugh. Just so irritated. So basically, my doctor was just saying that because I've been on this weird. It's been like 3 years that I've been like something don't feel right. It is not like I don't feel right as in cancer or anything like that. It's more of like so like let's just be honest. Let's say I did some things in the past, right? We all have a history, right? I'll be open and honest. But then like I compare those times to like when I was on stage performing. And I'm comparing the whole retrospect. And I'm like, it feels exactly the same. Like, what the heck? Or like if people are like smoking pot, like the pot these days, I don't smoke it because, sativa. That feeling is what my body does automatically. So it's kind of like I can't do no edibles. Like she cannot be doing anything. So that's just my honest perspective. Was I think when I was, and a lot of people saw me teach dance, so you saw I went hard. And I think when I worked for the gym, G knows this. When you work for the gym industry or the fitness industry, you go 250% the whole time. And a lot of people were saying, you don't have to like do the whole hour. You can just like instruct the people and then go walk around. And I'm like, this one does not like instruct. This one coaches and teaches. Like I'm a dance technician. Dance technicians, we like to feel what we're doing. Like my professor from college, Janet Sanderson, I love you. She, I'm not going to say her age. I don't even know her age completely, but she danced right there with us. She was like 4 feet tall, and like in the air, wee, like hopping over everybody. And then she retired, but then like she wants to go back to, because when you are, I'm only speaking for dance. When you perform, you can't stop. The moment you stop, everything crashes on you and everything kind of like it's swept from under your feet. Like I look at Paula Abdul, who's my idol. I saw her. I need to go look up her Vegas because everything, all these like live concerts are on YouTube. So I need to look up Paula Abdul. But she did a concert last year in Vegas. I missed it. Yeah, my brother, his situation upstaged me going to Paula's concert. But yeah, she's still going. She's backflipping and everything. Why? Because you have to push through it. You have to work through all you have to work with your setbacks and not work around them. For example, I don't want to show y'all my feet, but ooh, you guys are special. So on Saturday night, I fell and twisted my ankle. Yeah, I fell hard. It was like I sickled. There it is. Isn't that gross? It's all swollen. And then, would you go to the doctor, Aaron? No. What's the doctor gonna do? Pain meds, and then pain meds are not gluten free. But I actually went for 2 4-mile walks yesterday, even though my ankle was twisted. I need that mental clarity because, yeah, if you guys saw me yesterday, I kind of just went off. I just like lost it. It was nice to like blow up, and then I was like, I feel better. But I think in conglomerate of all the things that are happening in the world, our bodies are also going through. It's kind of like parallel. You see all the. I'm not even paying attention to all the drama and politics. Like y'all keep telling me about politics. I'm like, I do not care anymore. I don't care anymore because, in a nutshell, I think politics is like this. Someone who goes, look over there, look over there, look over, and then when you look, they take something from you. So that's what I know. Going back to the metaphysical part of where I'm coming from in terms of understanding why I'm going gluten, well, my body now. I think like when I was COVID positive, my body did a whole reset. And being that I already have a chronic illness, my body was already fighting something. And then when you add something else to it, I said this way long time ago, and people didn't believe the science. I'm like, it's not really about science 100% of the time. It's really about monitoring your own self and kind of going, oh, so this happened, and I journal it. And then this is happening, and I journal it. But ever since May, it seems like I cannot do, like my body says you could do it. No, my mind says you can do it. Go, go, go. But then my body goes, bitch, why'd you do that? So I think what happened was there was a reset. And the reset was probably maybe like being home a lot. I was just eating all kinds. I was eating shortbread, ice cream. I was cooking really good food, steak dinners. And then all of a sudden my body wants to like have an endocrine disorder. So endocrine disorder, I think what I was reading and what my doctor shared with me was that it's like Addison's disease. And Addison's disease is basically when, like, let's say my refrigerator is, the motor is running, and then it'll cut off. while it's running, if I can feel the vibration, my body will start producing adrenaline. It'll just do it. Like if my ceiling fan is on, the waves passing my. So I think it's all associated with, I danced forever. So when I created endorphins from dancing, I was creating euphoria with music. And I think I'm trying to discover something that I think that a lot of us don't know the underlying reason why this is happening to our bodies. But sometimes you could watch a movie and there's like a scene, let's say like with shooting or guns, and you get so tense, not because the scene, it's just probably because of the sound. And the sound is hitting your body, and then you're producing adrenaline because on accident, what happened is you created endorphins when it came to sound. So it didn't matter what you heard. It just like the science I'm trying to compare is when sound is hitting your body, frequency is hitting your body is responding to it. So if there's a constant ongoing buzzing or some kind of like, I don't know, I think the thing that we don't respond to too much is birds chirping because it's constantly going. And so I'll be quite fascinated to understand that if I play bird chirping, maybe I could fall asleep better. Like a little background sound of bird chirping versus white noise. Because I know some people, they play white noise, or I tried to get a window fan and turn on the window fan while I'm sleeping, but the buzzing really just sucks. So May is one of my friends. Hi, May. And she understands the chakra system. And Jenny, you know the chakra system, and Laura, I see you too. The chakra system. So we have 7 chakras from the root. The root. My root is on fire. Isn't that gross? Look. Anyways, you got your root chakra. Then you got your sacral. Hey, sac. Your solar plexus. Your heart, your throat, third eye, crown. Did I forget one? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, there's 7. And so what's fascinating is if you read the Bible, it talks about God created, what did God made 7 days? Anyways, what I'm trying to do is compare the chakra system and the book of Genesis. And it's all kind of like, it's funny, like when you preach something, you go, hi. And then you kind of think about it from a yogi perspective, and you're like, oh, it's the same thing. So what I'm understanding is in Revelations, the book of Revelations, they talk about the 6th seal, and the 6th seal being broken. And what's fascinating is the 6th seal would be somewhere between the third eye and the crown. So I'm thinking coronavirus, crown in your head. We're being tested with a lot of stuff right now. There's too much information. And so I think that is messing with the head. And I think that has a lot of association with this 6th seal breaking kind of thing. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? For me, because I'm going through an endocrine related situation, I can compare that meditation and spiritual awakening and prayer and working on my stones and trying to work on the energy on that stuff. It's a whole it's a rabbit hole I'm trying to explain here. But when you're dealing with a lot of metaphysical things on a conscious level, your body responds not in a good way. But on the internal side of it, your body knows what it's doing. So basically, I'm accepting this. I'm accepting of this. I didn't even know like I was gluten intolerant. I think it just happened though. But she was saying that my anxiety is associated with my endocrine system is completely blown out. I'm like, duh, duh. If you saw me perform, I was like, wow, you know. I don't know if you go back to my rehearsal days with my dance group, like we went hard. We went so hard, like it was balls to the wall, like in rehearsal. And then you add anger management on top of that. Hey, Jazz. Yeah, things are. LA's okay. My whole plan right now is just to move because there's so much going on that I think like being in a single person home in a house by yourself is kind of like where I want to be at. I want to be like a grumpy old man in his house, and I just, can go in the backyard and lay out and just kind of, escape. So I think that's like where I'm at right now. My goals. I think like what's happening in my city is when there was the peaceful protests and the rioting and whatnot. It'll be here in I have to stay in California. I actually want to stay here because of my mom. I should go to the Caribbean, but I don't know if they can handle someone like me in the islands. Oh man. No, I have to stay here in the States because of my mom. Like there was a story 5 years ago where I moved to Sacramento. Literally like this day, 5 years ago, I moved to Sacramento because I was going down a really dark path. I can share it now because I know those days are over. But I was going down a really dark path, like really dark. Like I thought I was a wizard. And I was around bad people, and I didn't even know if they were bad. I was just doing my thing on supporting and helping and loving people, no matter what their issues were. But I was realizing that I was enabling their issues to be around me more, and so I had to just kind of cut everything off. I just said I need to stop. So I did a little leave of absence from my job and moved. A friend of mine said, come here to Sacramento. You have a room. I'll get you a job, blah, blah, blah. So I worked for my friend's dance studio, and everything just went to poop. Like as soon as I left, because everything that I structured here wasn't being maintained properly. And then my mom said something like she was at Starbucks and she was in line, and she turned around. She said that she turned around and she saw someone walk by her purse because she wasn't aware that she left her purse at the table. It's Starbucks. There's one way in, one way out. But she was like, ooh. And when she said that, literally, I put everything in my suitcase and I literally drove back to LA. Like, just like that. I'm like, nope. I'm not going to be gone from my mom if something happens. And like, that ain't going to happen. So I want to be able to get to my mom within an hour time. That's just So Jasper says the Caribbean or the Caribbean mine has 2 cases. 500 plus cases and opening back tomorrow. Oops, on my door. Some people are just so freaking nosy for no reason. I think they're just jealous because my place is really beautiful. All right, 500 cases? So, like, I said this 2 weeks ago. When they say cases, let's say I go to the doctor today and I get tested. That's a case. Let's say the case was negative. It's still a case. Let's say the case was positive. Now you have a confirmed case. So that doesn't make two, that makes one. Yeah, that's just one. So one person could be negative or positive, that's still called a case. But if the case research comes back that it was positive, that's still one case because it's one person. Now, if that one person went back to the hospital the next week, now it becomes two cases because a case went into the building and it came out of the building. That's what people are not on television. That's what they're not explaining. And I think they're kind of, if you're in a conspiracy theory world, people are allowing this nonsense of the numbers to flourish because they're trying to push a vaccine. And it makes no sense to have a vaccine when the natural body can rehabilitate itself. So, to the people who survived, we ain't getting no vaccine. It will make no sense because they can't prove that you can get reinfected once you've cured or recovered, I think. I heard one story where a guy got it again, but it was probably because exposure. Exposure could be radiation, it could be 5G, who knows? Who knows? But I know, like, when I do all this, like, energy work and meditation and all these different things that I do in my home for healing purposes, holistic healing purposes, it seems that frequency, it always goes back to frequency. If you tune into something, you can actually encourage it to get out of your body, but then the physical symptoms, the physical going through it sucks. And y'all was making fun of me. I put those little things on my body. Remember, I put little metal things and I turn on the sound frequency. And some people were like, those are heart monitors. Like, they don't work unless you plug them into a machine. And I'm like, okay, but who bounced back? So I like to go into some conspiracy theories since I like complaining. Bill Gates, to me, in my opinion, he's the least of my threats. Trump is on the bottom of my list of worries because at least Trump is apparent. He's right there. So it's the unseen things that people should be nervous about more than something that's rambling the whole time. And I honestly think that there's good, there's evil, and then there's darkness. So darkness doesn't mean evil. Darkness just means you conjure solutions by any means. And by conjure, you basically are, allegedly, you are trying to manifest something so that the answers can come out and surface. So I think Trump is, to be quite honest with you, I sense darkness, but I don't intuitively feel evil. Hold on. Darkness can mean that you agitate evil, and darkness can mean that you agitate good. And I think the best example would be like the Pope, for example. Bill Gates, for example. People are like, oh, but the Pope is Catholic. Yeah, but if y'all know what happened in Rome and the island of Sicily and what alleged case, I can't wait for this whole poop show to start pointing at Rome because the Epstein Island and all this other stuff is so blasé. But if you go to Rome and you go into like what they did to what they're still doing to children in Rome, okay? Like I had a date, someone I fell in love with years ago. We were talking about how would I move to Italy, and someone kidnapped me for like 6 hours, and they were like, you need to like read all these emails from my friend in Italy. You need to read this book. And she literally was like, I did a background check on the person that you're talking to. I did a background check on this person. And literally, what all came back, the crimes and stuff. I was like, ooh, chili beans. Whew. Glad I didn't make that mistake. So, conspiracy theory number two. People are saying, associating this chip with the vaccine. So, we've already been chipped, if you guys kind of think of it that way, because you have a SIM card in your phone. So it may not be a chip in your body, but the SIM card being associated with facial recognition, your password. So I think if I were to push the conspiracy, I would say that it's testing for COVID, that's putting your DNA in a system. You're being classified as a case. So that, let's say, if you walk down the street and there's a camera monitor that captures your face, it'll know your DNA, your genetic code, and your SIM card of your phone. It's all tied in. So, in biblical wordings, I'm kind of nervous talking about this. I feel like something's watching me. In biblical context, they say this is the mark of the beast. Kanye said it the other day. And everyone's like, ooh, bipolar Kanye. And he's crazy. And I'm like, look, every time Kanye says something, what happened right after? The truth came out. And I think it just takes bold people with some big balls to say stuff. It's scary, it is scary. Like, I'm scared talking about it. But I have no fear, no shame exposing what I'm observing. And I think I've always been somebody to expose what I'm observing, because it's just it's an observation. It's not like it's the truth, but what I see is everyone's so focused on vaccine and the nano bugs, but I'm like, people don't really see that it's all conglomerate. It's kind of like, I had this little funny, weird, not funny, but it's a sad realization that if you were to allegedly explode the human body, how would you do it? And not that I researched this stuff, but I know that we had fires last year, right? We had the wildfires, we had the holy fire in Orange County, coronavirus. And then you had the church fire in Paris, coronavirus. And so I'm thinking sulfur, because if an arsonist were to create fire, they have to use sulfur, right? To instigate a flame. Then you have to put fire to an element. So we put the elements together, sulfur dioxide, and you have metals. My mom even said this too. I was like, girl, since when were you a conspiracy theorist, girl? So my mom said, those planes that fly by and they drop the red stuff? A lot of us don't know what that is. And we never paid attention to, though those things may put the fire out, but what happens when you inhale it? And then you add that to sulfur from the fires. And then you have, let's go into the chemtrail conspiracy theory, since I like complaining. I'm unsheeping you guys right now. So what I'm trying to do is allow us all to see that we can complain about so much stuff, but the bigger picture is far more like than you think. But when you become more, when it becomes more realistic of the bigger picture, it kind of feels like, all right, cool, I can chill. Everything's going to just fall apart without all of my investment of fear. But let's go back to the whole chemtrail thing. So there's trimethyl aluminum, barium, and sulfate. So those are the three elements allegedly that they report have been sprayed in the air. On the news, they actually confirm this. If you watch the weather reports, they'll say cloud cover. That's like the word for it, because other words, it would say clouds or marine layer. We don't have a marine layer, in my opinion. I think the ozone layer was so jacked up by these planes flying in and out of the stratosphere that it ripped something somewhere, and that's just my theory and what I've been watching and reading from my friends on YouTube. Long story short, there is a ties to. It's kind of a long rabbit hole, but I was reading how you know how you have Israel, basically the elements of ISRAEL are the same elements as trimethyl aluminum, barium, and sulfite. That was hard to explain, but that's like another way of rabbit hole and fear porn as we like to call it. But it serves no purpose to some people. Like I watch certain people, and I respect their posts, but I watch how certain people get stuck on a topic and it's freaking them out. But I also understand the freak out must happen in order for us to, once it's out of the body, then it's irrelevant. Then it serves no purpose. Then what happens to our chakra system is we amplify our vibration. So I think a lot of times when we're stuck on these topics that are agitating and frustrating, it's the energy inside of our bodies trying to purge through it and trying to get over it. So it's a weird way. I hope I explain this properly without sounding like a loony who needs to go to a psych ward. But yeah, I like these conversations because it's real talk. It's something relevant, and it's something that a lot of people think about that they don't. It's hard to start the dialogue on social media because social media has hired a group of idiots called the fact checkers, and I think it's nonsense. If people are going to eventually, there's too many people on the globe, if it is a globe. There has to be at least 100 people that will reveal the truth about something. You can't eliminate all these people just because you're afraid the truth is coming out, whoever they are. You know, if you really think about it, there's just too many damn people who are going to expose everything. Excuse me. There goes my thymus gland hiccups. Yeah, it's overwhelming, but I think it's healthy at the same time to organize however much you retain. Like this week, what I'm doing, instead of watching any type of news, I'm just watching let's just watch some girls dance. Like I was watching Ariana Grande's concert 2 nights ago. I didn't know she could dance. I was like, go Ariana Grande. I think she was working it. Like, it almost changed my mind. I was like, damn, girl. But then because I know too much and I'm a very suspicious observer, I'm looking at the background of her concert. I posted this on my timeline. So you guys can look at these people's background. I think I just did Jennifer Lopez too. But there's some ties to the universe and what they're trying to convey as a message while they're performing. And so I was really stuck. Like, I was watching Christina Aguilera's concert. She could dance too. I didn't know that she could dance. I was like, dang, girl, you about to change my mind. Hi, Crystal. Crystal, you almost changed my mind. But I was watching these concerts, and the background is going through something. So there's a part in Christina Aguilera's concert where, you know, those water vapor geysers that come up on the stage when they perform. I was like, sulfur. You know, I'm doing all this ties to coronavirus because I think corona has a lot to do with the earth more so than someone trying to kill us all. I think someone knows how to use elemental things of the earth to mimic what a virus could feel like or act like. This is why when I went through it, I was kind of like, I don't think like what they're trying to say It's not actual virus. I think it was a it was a chemical warfare. It was an attack on American people in some way, some matter. Whoever was behind it, I don't know. But the fact that the body repaired itself in such a long time tells me that it's not really a virus. It was just an elemental poisoning. And some of us are really strong. We're built strong. And some of us don't take no shit. So if you don't take shit, you're going to survive. If you find yourself cowarding out of things, then you find yourself vulnerable to going through these situations. So I play both sides. Going to the conspiracy theory of the musicians, the artists, and the Illuminati, blah blah blah. I do think that like musicians and performers are on the same boat as what I use as that example for Trump and Bill Gates. I believe there's darkness, but I don't believe all darkness is evil. And I do believe darkness is conjured to reveal things on both sides. So when I watch, before I used to watch like a singer perform and they would do all these weird stuff with their eyes and then the hand pyramids. And I used to go, why are they doing that? And then I used to think, we need to convict them. We need to like burn them out. And we need to expose their truth. But nothing happened. So that was a waste of energy. Now I'm starting to see that these were innocent people who were robbed as teenagers, and they were pushed in this whole system of prostitution and dancing on the chair. Like it literally is prostitution. They're being sold and paid to you know straddle, and it's that's where I'm that's where my heart breaks, is that like their contract and their agreements or whatever it is in the music industry, it's so tight that you can't say anything. Like I remember Kesha years ago tried to say she was sexually assaulted and the judge dismissed her trial. Like the judge totally was like, eh. So I feel for Kesha. And then she came out with another album. Her hair is black now. So I'm kind of seeing that it's a retaliation to I know these things, and I've had friends who are on that other side and people who are not telling me that they're on the other side. But I can tell when they're trying to throw bait, or what is it? But hey, Cairo Shimmy Quick, when are you gonna invite Avon Rouge to a virtual performance? I'm just being silly. So, like, let's go into, since Cairo Shimmy just joined the live stream, let's go into Old Times of Babylon and how it ties into everything we're experiencing. So, like, let's say you have these, and this is why I have my moon phases on the wall. And this is actually pretty fascinating. I think it's beautiful. So, you have all these, the new moon, half moon in the middle, quarter, right? And then you have your, what is the one where it's gone? I forgot the one where it's gone. Oh no, new moon is when it's not there. Full moon is, okay. So when people of Middle East tradition, when these moon phases come around, what they do is they dance or they gather in festivals, and it's really to bring love into light, is really to put that sense of light into darkness. So when the moon phases transition, what I understand is we're trying to brighten ourselves through this shadow, and then once the shadow reveals a bright new moon or a full moon, we've made it through. And a lot of times the moon phases were ways to count the nights and the days, or it was ways to know how many days in a month or how many days in a week. So yeah, solstice, equinoxes. Did I forget something? So if I were to go back to Babylon times, which if you look at my home, I have like the essence of Babylon mood, right? That's just what resonates with my soul. I just feel like I'm in the right body. I'm just in the wrong time period. So, and this is why when I started belly dancing, I was understanding a lot more of like where we live and how to coordinate my understanding of my regular life with trying to integrate with where we live. Because where we live, if you think about all those movies of Egyptian times, we're still in those, we're still in the same reality, but it's just you add McDonald's and Starbucks to it. I'm trying to like keep my thought right on topic because I don't want to sound crazy. So in Babylon times, obviously there was a king, there was a ruler, there were slaves, there was. But what it's interesting is a lot of the women of the time they did seductive dance, right? And it was their key to getting out of bondage and slavery. It was the key to not being chastised negatively by, you know, the sultan or the guards. So that's how I understand music industry is. And you watch these females that perform, it's the same thing. It's the same exact thing. Only I have much more respect for belly dancers because we still keeping the real tradition and the real ritual relevant, and it's still ongoing. And the more that people watch origins of things or things that come from a natural source, it ties people into connecting with their authentic self. And yes, it's connecting to your free spirit. So when I was working for a corporation, I could not talk this way because I was being watched by a lot of people. There were so many people like going, please, Aaron, don't say it. Please shut up. And I can feel like that kind of energy from it was supervisors and managers and like the regional. Like there were people following me on Instagram, and I'm like, what's that person following me? Like, how did they find me? You know, that person's like a regional so so in London. How are they following me on Instagram? But I knew that these eyes were watching me because I chose free will and I'm a free spirit, but then I was talking out of place. And so what I do understand about the other side, that the stuff that we don't talk about, some people call it Illuminati, but it's not. That's a whole nother, that's a whole, I should just go there. So if you understand, you have Catholicism, which falls into a group called Jesuit. And they're also associated with the ancient culture called the Bases. The Bases have a ties to Enki, if you were into the Anunnaki storyline, ancient Mesopotamia. So that's like one bucket. And I'm not talking any negativity about it. It's just what it is. Then you have your Zionist movement. Zionist is more of the free radical in between our Middle East region. I don't want to say Israel because I don't want to offend anybody. It's not a Jewish related thing. It is a mockery of a Jewish related thing. So you have a Zionist movement, and they're taking. It's kind of like when you intimidate people of your power, your bloodline, and you take over. I forgot what king did this. If you guys remember the movie Aladdin, Jafar is a perfect example of a Zionist because he wasn't related to the bloodline, but he intimidated them and took power because he knew how to tap into other forms of intimidation. So that's a bucket number two, Zionist. And if you look at democracy, it is the exact carbon copy of that. That's why when people talk politics, I'm like, y'all, it's not like Republican, Democratic. It is literally like Zionist versus everybody else. And that's the one thing I really try to tell people is, if you choose to be liberal, if you choose to be Democrat, I'm not saying that I'm any one of them, but if you choose, at least do your homework and understand when Joe Biden said years ago, you do not need to be Jewish to be a Zionist. I could be a Zionist. My father said, you don't have to be a Jew to be. So when he said that, I was like, what's a Zionist? So I looked it up and I was like, oh, it's a practice of intimidation. Yeah, anyway, that's a whole rabbit hole. So that's bucket. Then you have Masonry. And Masonry has always been on Earth. Masonry is everything that you can possibly, like, even down to the In-N-Out Burger logo. So you see the tail, the little arrow, the point. You look at Subway, same thing. Jiffy Lube, same thing. So, like, when I'm watching posts on Facebook, I'm watching people talk about something like the Epstein Island. I'm like, that's like a little crumb compared to, like, you look at like Del Taco, and Del and L have association with the planet Saturn, which is associated with frequency. This is what I was talking about earlier. Frequency and sound and how your body responds to things. So in a nutshell, you can go as far sporadic and OCD with it, or you can just narrow it down to something very simple by going, everything responds to frequency. This is what duality is. Sound, frequency, and what was it? Sound, frequency, and wavelength. So anyways, I think I said way too much for 1 hour. And my cereal got cold. Anyways, yep. So the advice I would give to everyone before I close out is pay attention to your body. My mom is trying to tell me talk to your body. So like right now I'm feeling anxiety because those topics were heavy. So I'm going to talk myself. I'm going to say, look, bitch, it's okay. Namaste. It's okay. Namaste. And even if like you were to exaggerate by saying like everything is pointing to some entity out there is trying to kill us all, at least you can die in some mental clarity by knowing the most you can know about stuff. Right? Like, I don't believe in that narrative of someone's trying to kill us. I do believe the Georgia Guidestones were placed there for a reason, trying to maintain balance of the world. So you got to put a little bit of poison with a little bit of some reassurance. It's almost like putting out the problems and the solutions at the same time. And that's just how the world is going to go. When you have people who practice these things, occult practices, or as you call it, it is what it is. You can't change it, can't fix it. It's going to need the holy rapture to like, and this is why in biblical reference, when Jesus came, he came to like break it up and say, look, y'all, like, y'all ain't stop doing this. This ain't cool. Like, stop killing these animals. Stop chewing children. Like, just, it's so much and it's so disgusting. But when he came and they're like, look, we're going to take you out because you done way too much. All those groups that I have mentioned earlier had allegedly a participation to why his physical body is not here. And so you look at it as, now you understand why frequency, sound, vibration, you have to go inside of yourself in order to like really amplify, stronger than the narrative, stronger than the things that are coming at you. And this is why I think I survived having COVID-19. It was more of, dang, I really gotta, and I'm not a perfect person. So I know that whoever and whatever, like, I associated myself with, the people I was around, even people who came to my class, like, I love, Jenny knows, Remember, Jenny, like my birthday, when that lady walked in out of nowhere and she stole the microphone from my hand and she made this whole speech about like managing me and offering like all of her resources to like, child, I didn't ask her to do. It was kind of like, what are you doing? And we all just sat there like, creepy. Like that lady was creepy. And she didn't even know, she had no invitation to my birthday, period. Like, how would she had known at 8 p.m. we were in that location and she just walked in with an agenda? So that's how you kind of know that something bigger is existing out there, and it's less than. It's like energy that low that you can conquer it. My birthday was fun. We turned up. It kind of sucks though. You think like, are we gonna have another moment like that? I'm glad we had it already, but I think I was in some emotions too recently, like kind of like going into the sadness because I guess it has to come out. Because we're in that chakra range where everything's going to the crown and then six seal is released, in my opinion. So I think we're like in that emotional where we have to cry, where we have to feel sad, where we have to feel our emotions. We're kind of trying to surface everything to where our mind can finally just be at peace and let go. I think that's what's happening. But I look at all my classes and the great things that I did, and I'm like, dang, I'm not going to have these opportunities ever again. Like, let's be very real and honest. There's no way I'm going to be traveling back to Canada to perform. Let's just be honest. There's so many things that transpired, and just even in the COVID name drop, it taints everything in the world. Like, when's going to be the next concert of one of your favorite artists that you're going to be able to go to without precautions? And it's just going to be forever changed, and we have to be okay with that. Then we talked about the conspiracy theory with artificial intelligence, where everything's going to be now virtual. That's what's happening now. It is what it is. So be mindful, and this is what I'm practicing starting today. Being mindful. I think sitting on the floor sometimes will help because I sit on this couch too much. And I think when I'm in my comfort zone, now it's becoming uncomfortable because I invited a lot of uncomfortable feelings to where I sit a lot. So I think sitting on the ground is like a good practice of grounding yourself. I also have an indoor plant. So please don't die on me. It's actually turning white. It was green and it's turning. So I don't know if it's dying or if it's just happy to be around me. But it's a good grounding purpose. Thank you, Jenny. And I think water. If we can't go to a body of water, like today, I'm gonna go to the beach. My feet need to go in the water. I have to like, I have to connect with Mother Nature. I need to connect to that immortality, that inner God, as people like to say. And it's okay to say immortal God or the God within, because we're made in the same divine image. Duh. So I think going to the ocean to peel off all these weird feelings and let it just saturate itself and let the ocean cleanse it and then come back home feeling purified and refreshed. This is why baptism is a practice in church. Or if you can't be around water, I would say like have a decorative, I don't know, get a bowl or something like a bowl and put water in it and put like different color. I don't know. I do a lot of weird things. Like I put what's it called? Himalayan salt. I put that in water and I'll leave them at the doors and I'll let the sun hit and it collects like really cool patterns. And so a lot of times I'll collect the salt from the water bowls after the sun evaporated the water and it's become like a salt rock. I don't know if that makes any sense, but I'm weird. Anyways, the last thing I want to say is breathe, which I need to work on that because all this dancing and twerking and booty popping that I didn't realize I was conditioning myself to hyperventilate, and I was okay with hyperventilate because when you dance, like, you're really hyperventilating. So I'm watching Christina Aguilera's concert yesterday, and I'm like, she is not skinny like me, right? Let's be honest. Demi Lovato, I was watching her too yesterday. She thick bone, and I'm thinking thick bone people probably are the most strongest air, like, they're air generators. I don't know. They can hold so much air. So I think love your body, right? And this is why I'm actually letting my belly hang out too. I would love to just be able to hold air as long as possible or to release CO2 as frequent as I need to. So, yeah, I think it's a weird but beautiful practice to start, and it's something that we all forget to do, is to breathe slower, take our time with our breath, and kind of re-educate our body what it's like to breathe slow. Because I think breathing fast can get you sick. And I think that's why I went through every ailment and every illness in the last 2 or 3 years. But it's okay. I'm not complaining, but I'm complaining. Like, I need the world to slow down. Anyways, everybody, I love you very much. Thank you for tuning in. It was a long live stream, a long chat, but I think we all have a good peace of mind. So I'll see you guys later. I'll have something later on today. Take care. Love you. Bye. Love you. Bye-bye.